We're streaming now.
Here.
Oh,
Hello? Anybody there?
Yep.
Yo,
All right.
Pat, you here?
Yo.
Hey, everybody. We're here again. It's been fantastic months of being on this podcast called Collide. We collide on different attributes, different current events about DC and Marvel. Um, I know right now there's a current event, there's a writer strike, there's an actor strike, but us as a journalist, we can be able to speak upon things that are coming in the works. The first thing I want to be able to talk about is Marvel. The first thing about Marvel is that they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. They're trying to make things a little bit more welcoming, a little bit more open minded to everything. They even talking about they even talk about how they're instead of doing noon nights, they are gonna be putting shows like 9 p.m. so everybody has the chance to watch and enjoy. I'm glad that I can be able to see the number one show of them all. I don't know if you know, but you should be ready. You should be ready to watch Low Key Season 2. How you feel about that? October 6th.
October 6th. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
during that's interesting. Okay. Cool. Um last if I'm not mistaken, last year the show that came out around like Halloween time was WandaVision. So that's interesting that they started that the slate puts Loki around October.
Yes. How did you like the first one?
Um Compared I don't know, the direction was really well done. I will say overall, um, when I say Loki carries it, it's more as um, if I guess what I'm trying to look for is not so much if you're a casual fan, but more as people love the character of Loki so much. That honestly, it makes me curious in terms of how far they're going to stretch his character arc, right? Because I think originally Loki, of course, when we first met him, he was the main bad guy in Thor. Then he was the main bad guy, at least in the first Avengers film. And then I don't want to. It's not so much he overstayed his welcome, nothing to that degree. But I wonder how much of the original framework or planning did they say we're going to keep Loki continuously being put in to the point where Loki has appeared in more properties than some namesake heroes. So that's interesting. So I'm really curious as to not just so much what season two brings, but how far they're going to stretch, I guess, his show and his character and his purpose. Because the number one thing you don't want to do anytime you create a character is not just them overstay their welcome, but when they no longer have a purpose in the story, then they're just filler in a sense. And where we see that with a lot of the big namesake heroes to a degree, like moving on in terms of like passing the mantle or passing the title or kind of just being in the background. So I wonder in the new phase of Marvel, in the new world of Marvel, what place does Loki have, if any at all?
Makes sense. Any remarks to that, Pat and Bella?
Yes. Okay. To the do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. To the comment about why, like, we were talking about how last October it was the other show was very close to Halloween. I'm guessing it's because
WandaVision?
don't isn't he considered the king or something like that of mischief, I think. So isn't Halloween kind of mischief night? So I guess like
Well,
they tried their
yeah,
closest
yeah,
to
no,
get to Halloween.
yeah. Well, no, no. What I was getting at was that last year, like WandaVision was when Disney Plus first started the whole series of Marvel shows, and
Okay.
it was just WandaVision just fell on Halloween. So like I'm saying like since they're kind of doing like a refresh now in terms of their shows going forward, it's interesting that like now Loki, the big, I guess the best producing show, or not producing, but the best like number-wise show, is also starting around that time. That was the only correlation I was getting at those two.
Mm. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So um I don't know if Loki season 2 is gonna be better, but especially
Okay.
because Marvel's going through the whole process where with all the strikes on the writers and actors, I think that it kind of pushed every single production to come forward to become even shorter on the amount of time that they are is completely produced. You understand what I'm saying? Like certain scenes, so a bunch of scenes that probably got retracted to make the show run more on a express mode, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know about it being better. I'm hoping so. I like Loki. I like the actors inside of Loki. Um, I don't know if it's gonna tell the story the way we want it to tell. And then I think it's gonna be complicated at the same time because of how many time zones they gotta go through. You know, they're doing the 1985. They got it's there's a lot of like 18, I mean, like 1980 something and the 90s involved in the show. So it's like all these different time zones that we're going through. So like it happened on the first one, but with everything being cut shorter now, it might be kind of problematic. I'm hoping for the best though.
My best hope is that we get at least 12 episodes. That's my best bet. My best bet, I hope that we get 12 episodes that can give it an overall story that can close it out very well. Six episodes
I can hear
won't.
me.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
6 episodes won't be able to put it out
Oh,
completely. I'm just hoping for 12.
hello.
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you hear us back?
We hear you, man. I don't think you hear us.
I'm not having any problems on my side. I can hear everybody loud and clear.
Hello.
Yo, we hear you, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what you guys are talking about though? The Loki, the episodes already like they're already like short, like mad short, like that's what I mean that kind of what makes it kind of fire because like I could really just sit there and run through all the episodes because they're mad short, but at the same time, it's just like there is a lot going on in the back scenes, so they definitely could just like not make good scenes and just choose like awesome, yeah, we're just gonna make these episodes, throw it out to them because there's other shit we have to worry about, kind of like they could do, but I hope they don't because the first season, I mean, to me, I like Loki's humor. Like I always liked him for his humor. Like it's one of my favorite villains. So yeah, that's just how I feel.
I think honestly, I think at least for season two will be okay in terms of the production and the writing and the script because all of the episodes were written and shot and everything was done before the strike was even like, finalized or like even I guess started. So what we're watching is pre-recorded stuff even before they go to the strike and whatnot. Um, so I think we'll be okay with season two. But that's why I posed the question of like I don't know what place does Loki have moving forward, because let's say season two ends with a cliffhanger or something to set Loki up for possible season three or something like that. Now there's a delay because they wouldn't be actively like right now shooting or writing anything moving forward. So that's why season two like for me is a curiosity because I don't think they're gonna end his character arc or him as a character from season two. But if they put anything moving forward, of the character of Loki, um, we have the hurdle of there's gonna be no matter what a delay, in terms of whether it's a season three, whether that means appearing in a movie. So it's a interesting, I guess, like question of where Loki not just so much stands, but where is he being placed? Um, it's like imagine you're playing a game of chess and then, you move your characters, your pieces to a certain spot, and then rather than finishing the game, you just say, all right, I'm gonna get up from the table, and we're just on hiatus. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like the bigger picture is what I'm curious about. So, but I think overall, I think we'll be okay with season two in terms of the choices they make. Plus, I think because Loki wasn't necessarily like 100% planned show that came about because I saw the love of how people like the character. They could take his arc in any direction. So I think it's tough to say what fans really want from him in terms of like comparatively, like for example, let's say they do Spider-Man, right? We all know the comics and we know the story of Spider-Man. So if they change something big, that's a problem. But with Loki, like they have the freedom to kind of go and twist it any way we want without having that sense of ownership towards the character, because Marvel's the one that really stretched him out.
Makes sense. That makes sense. You never know. He went through Kane dynasty. He might fall into getting getting acquainted with his brother. It could be a possibility that that happens that way. You never know. You never know if the writers was going to continue on showing that his brother didn't really die. He just on a different plane or a different way of being to to protect the time. You know what I'm saying? Because it has to be able to protect the time zone. That's why Mobius picked him. Mobius picked him for that particular reason. You know. So we'll see how the he's gonna transition of Thor, knowing that his brother is doing something for the bigger picture. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For sure. Like, you know what I mean? That's the most important thing. For me as a too low key because I feel as though that the writer's way of closing character, because the way they close the characters dying dying of trying to save his brother. So I'm just hopeful for that aspect. On the next one we got from Marvel is the Marvels. The Marvels, I can't wait to watch it. I know it's a girls type of movie. Everybody is hating on, but for me, it brings out Monica Rambeau. It brings out Miss Marvel to explain how she came about of the Bengals and how Captain America knows about the Bengals, and she can explain a little bit more to Miss Marvel of the connectivity of how she got her powers, even though the the writer is writing Miss Marvel as a mutant. So, any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, I'm stuck.
I think actually I agree with you to that point. The only sounds bad because I like Captain Marvel, like what she's supposed to be, but once again, I don't know, or based on how the live action Captain Marvel, how they have taken her character, I'm not the craziest fan of her. So I wonder if they're going to do like a personality check or change. But that being said, I agree with you in terms of Monica Rambeau because I'm curious if I guess what they do with her because the last we saw of her was in uh in One Division, right? Like, so I don't know. We don't know what she's been up to. We don't know if she has full use of her powers. We don't know if she's going to be training. You know, what I mean, we don't know much about like what her situation is. But more importantly, to your point, she may be either a bridge or a connecting thread to mutants overall. So um, that's what gets me kind of excited, which it's a little sad because the main reason you should get excited for the overall show should be all the characters, not just a secondary character. But it is what it is, um, and I think Marvel kind of knows this show's going to be kind of one of their weaker ones, possibly not writing, but they just need viewership. Um, but other than that, there's not much more to say. Like it's, I guess when it gets here, and it'll be interesting just to see what they do with Rambo's character.
I'm a little worried about their selection and amount of timing that this thing is supposed to run. According to what I've read, this movie only runs on 100 minutes, and that tells me they cut a lot of scenes off of this thing. So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. They really cut a lot of scenes off of this thing because 100 minutes is very short to really introduce properly all three characters and all their possible knowledge about what's going on and them explain it to, for example, Miss Marvel's parents because they got them involved in this movie too. Um, and then like I think they've made Miss Monica Rambeau seem a bit unknowledgeable compared to Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. The whole time they make her sound like she's this average Joe who just has the military background but doesn't really understand too much. what happened to her or what's going on. So I would like to see how rapidly they make her seem like she understands what's going on with her. I don't know if anybody agrees or disagrees with what I'm saying, but any input would be great. Hello?
Uh, yeah, no. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, because for example, like I feel like Miss Marvel, between her and her friend and her getting to really acknowledge her background from like going back home and meeting a whole nother group to affiliate with, she has a better understanding of where she's coming from and how there's this separate dimension type of thing that kind of planet or something where her ancestries come from type of thing. But like I think they just threw Monica into what she is now, you know? And maybe because the focus on where she was introduced was more on oh my god, I forgot the main character, that character. So what is it called? Something which
Monica Rambeau.
yeah, the no, but what was it? What is it called? the
WandaVision.
the one
Those two
division,
women.
yeah, because the one division
Oh, okay.
focuses on Wanda. It doesn't focus. It's not really supposed to be focusing on any other character. So maybe the fact that like now Rambo is supposed to be like one, she is really one of the main character, like an actual main character. Maybe she might introduce herself a little bit more until like an understanding on who she is. They try to lay back on it because it was a one division. Just they wanted people to really
Yeah,
understand one division before. Now maybe it might be different, but the shortage on timing on this movie kind of doesn't help because you're telling three people's, it's like you're telling three people's interaction and three people's story into one group. And the last time that they did something almost as short as this, I'm not trying to cross reference it. I don't want to, but I have to.
Collided.
I'm gonna collide. I'm gonna collide here and say they did they did this with Blue Beetle, and it didn't work for Blue Beetle, but we don't really I don't I don't think they introduced it properly at all before that. If anything, these three characters were a little bit more introduced to us these days than Blue Beetle was, but the time the running time on the film is about the same kind of for both of them. So hopefully, better luck to them with this than Blue Beetle did have, even though it's not on the same network.
Uh, so what do you mean film? Because it's to be a show, whereas Movie was a movie.
Wa- the Marvels is gonna be a movie.
Oh, they changed it to oh wait, you're right. So lost. Okay. My bad. Retract that. That being okay,
Yes,
okay, yeah. So if anything, I'm over here thinking that tomorrow's going to be a show. So if that's
I
the
would
case,
hope.
yeah,
I think that would
I
have been
think
better, but it's not.
I think so too. That's I thought, yeah. Oh my gosh. Because then, yeah, your worry is actually now more like basically not just it makes sense, but now it became my worry because as you were talking, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a show. What do they do? 8 episodes? Maybe there's an episode where we get a little more background. It's three characters. There's gonna be a movie. Oh man,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
not gonna be.
movie. It's a
That's gonna be. I
three
think that's gonna
three
be problematic. Just
100 minutes movie, and it kind of sounds like a disaster, like Blue
that,
Beetle all over again because it's three
that's
characters
an hour and a half.
only running.
Um.
It's so short.
Okay, this is gonna be a dud because you split now the focus. possibly into 3 directions,
And an
or
hour.
you lack any form of explanation, which
Where's your facts? Where's your facts according to this? That is gonna be that amount of time.
um, let me see.
They're from IGN.
It is from IIGN. I'm not sure if it's exactly on the article that we are providing at this moment, but give me 1 second. Okay.
All right, all right. Go ahead, Mikey.
You guys can keep
no,
discussing.
either way, even if this movie was 2.5 hours long, um, you're still on a crunch because the when you create any type of when you create a story, there's certain beats you have to get to, um, and when you truncate certain explanations, or background or any type of, yeah, like I said, like explanation, you tend to have a dissatisfied audience. A good example, actually a perfect example, when Marvel tried this last time, was the last Thor movie, Love and Thunder. That was truncated with a lot of lack of explanation and just kind of, it is what it is because it's superheroes. And the reason why I think that rubbed a lot of, including myself, a lot of fans the wrong way is not necessarily bad movie, but more as it goes against the Marvel formula of Marvel. Even if they need 5 minutes or 2 minutes to explain something, they explain it. They don't leave you like kind of just in the wind, right? Now, there are some cases where you have to wait a movie or two for further explanation, but for the Marvels to be a film,
What happened?
especially one where,
Okay. He's okay?
yeah, we're curious about Monica, but we're also curious about Miss Marvel, and then we're also, in a sense, curious about Captain Marvel. Not curious in terms of what they've been up to, but curious in terms of what are their goals, what are they're fighting for, in a sense, right? We don't really know. Yes, the movie's going to tell us. That's the whole plot point. But what me and you are kind of really like looking forward to, Jesse, might now just be thrown to the wind because I don't see them really focusing too much time on the idea of her being a mutant. I see it being truncated to maybe a minute of like, oh yeah, I got these powers by going through the force field of Wanda. Um, I guess you could call me a mutant. Something stupid like that, probably they're gonna say, because now they could use the M word since since the rights now belong to back to Marvel. Again, will
Matt,
be being
you
mutants.
okay?
Before that, they couldn't use the M word. Um, so I don't know. Now, honestly, hearing it as a film or like realizing it's a film makes me even more dissatisfied, or not dissatisfied. Sorry, what I'm looking for. I guess less likely to be like, oh, well, I'm gonna watch the movie theaters to watch this. Now I'm just like, it is what it is. Oh man,
There
So,
you have it.
so,
To go through these thoughts and ideas that what if? What if this is gonna happen? What if is that gonna happen? That's why I'm also transitioning into the next thing that I wanted to talk about is what if. What if season two is coming out late December? You know,
mhm.
that's why I kind of wanted to bring out Loki first, the Marvel first, and have this collision where Belloc collided with you where it's like, yo,
Sorry.
what if the time is not enough time to present these ideas? What
You
if
came over here.
Loki season two only came out with 6 episodes? What if? That's why What If late December is coming out. These are the three top movies for Marvel that's coming out. They're gonna explore more. They're gonna really explore more of What If. They're really exploring more of Loki season two. Now, when the Marvels come out, what are we going? back. You know.
I mean, but like with what if is the like the non-canonical episodes, right? It's a
Let me see
fun
that. Go
series
ahead.
because
I got it.
nothing, in a sense, not so much that you can gain little nuggets, but technically nothing matters because what if is just that. It's the series itself is just like a fun. What if zombies? What if this person was bad? What if this happened? It's just a creative way and commentary that exists already. The non-canonical
Where they
comics.
at? I need
Um,
to make sure I stay
some are
on
more
point.
popular than others, especially the Marvel
What they
Zombies. That
talking
was
about?
hugely popular.
Shush.
DC has the same thing. They're called Outer Worlds
What's
comics.
he talking
Other
about?
Um,
words, comments.
that being said,
What else?
what if it was interesting when the first season one came out
Season one came out
because certain
was
episodes
interesting.
dealt
Certain
with
episodes
different,
did
the whole idea
dealt
of
with
different
different
dimensions and different
dimensions.
Earths and
This sounds so bored.
the Watcher, and and that aspect.
Let me see.
And it was cool, especially
Stop.
dealing with
Daddy
certain
didn't
episodes
ask
dealing
you
with
to do
Doctor
this, and if
Strange
you
and the
make a
Dark
mistake,
Doctor
I'm
Strange and
done for.
whatever.
Come
It
on.
was
My
a
teacher.
nice,
This is
without them,
my
I guess I
Okay.
want to say
Daddy
needing
records it and
to,
put it on
because
YouTube.
I'm pretty sure they knew what they were doing. It gave
Baby,
you
I'm a
a
DJ. I
kind
need
of
to
a
go
little
back
better
into my station.
understanding on the framework
I love you, but I
their
gotta go back
future
to my
projects
notes.
were going to go into,
Thank you for your message.
specifically Multiverse of Madness, right? That's why it was interesting seeing some of the Easter eggs in not Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
my fault.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, the what was the Doctor Strange movie that came out with Wanda? The Multiverse of Madness was, or was that Multiverse of Madness? Yeah, okay. For a second, I thought I was describing the Spider-Man movie by mistake. But anyway, Multiverse of Madness, there was a lot of Easter eggs recalling certain situations on certain episodes in What If.
Give it back.
But that being said, What If wasn't
Give me
made
my
with the purpose to explain anything else because What If is completely its own separate entity, right? It's just like that. It's the idea of ideas that are just just like that. What if? You know, the whole, if these two people fight, if this person was evil, this person was good, it's
Go away.
all the alternate possibilities just for fun. So season two of What If, guess what? It's gonna be probably just like that, fun. I don't see them taking the property of What If to
What happened?
take the time to explain
Okay.
other
Okay.
aspects on media that was before What If, because for multiple reasons. The first one being the first season of What If happened before those movies, so it gave you kind of like a better understanding before going into that framework. Whereas season two will be coming after. Two, um, that's lazy in multiple ways because if you have the opportunity to explain in let's say in the Marvels to explain the mutants, why must you wait for a spin-off show to explain further into the mutants? And then thirdly, to be frank, unless it's a big concept like different Earths and multi-dimensional travel and who the Watcher is, huge concepts. Um, whatever is said in a What If episode is not canon. You can't take it to heart because every episode has different rules, meaning different rules of the universe, different background, different settings, characters make different choices. So whatever, think of it like its own self-contained universe and episode. So even if they give explanation of mutants, that explanation doesn't explain all the mutants. It explains only the mutants in that particular episode. So you can't take it to extract it into other properties. So I'm happy for what if because honestly, for me, that was my favorite out of all the shows. So season two, probably gonna watch that day one. That's for sure. And they're short. But that being said, I don't think we could use what if as a possible bridge to the other properties. Um, and that's more based on simple facts, not
Baby
the
being
idea
bad.
of,
Bad baby.
but they could because they could do a lot of things, but there's a lot of evidence saying why they
You
won't
want
do
this
that
for me?
stuff.
Now,
Oh.
But what if they what if they bring out more about Miss Cap Miss Cap instead of Captain America became Captain America? What if Shorty was Captain America? What if they transition to that aspect a little bit more since Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness came to play? What if they talked about that a little bit more? Would you be open to that?
Well, they actually forgot exactly when those good months back. They did announce that whenever they do season 2 of What If, um, that character is a mainstay. Meaning, I don't know if it'll be 1, 2, or 3 episodes with her, but where Agent Carter became Captain America? Um,
Yeah,
I think Captain Britain's her name. Yeah, she the writers and the fans liked her, so she's going to appear at the very least in 1 or 2 episodes of season 2 for sure. And they already confirmed that just because they like the character. It might have been at one of the cons or conventions or something that they
Get your
mentioned that.
ugly butt.
So that's cool.
Get your butts both.
I'm
Out
okay
of
with
here.
that. Honestly,
Get out.
I'm okay if they
Go
want to
with your
repeat
sister.
characters. I'm
Get your
okay if they
ugly butt
want
out
to
of
do
here.
new twist on characters.
Yeah, ugly butt.
Heck, I'm okay if they even do certain episodes dealing with all the brand new characters that we were introduced
Well,
to in the TV shows, and
stop.
if they want to do something with Monica and Rambo, they could. With What If, it's the slate is clear because there's nothing tying them down. There's
Gum
no
gum
baggage of
gum.
you gotta hit story beats. There's no baggage of we gotta make it connect. There's no baggage of honestly in a sense getting it wrong because again each episode self-contained unless they want to make like a two-part episode where it connects. So it gives anyone writing the episode the true freedom of like I could do whatever I want with these characters because there's nothing forcing my hand to write a certain direction. So with season 2, I'm open to anything. The only thing I'm not open to, I don't want them to make it short. I don't want like 6 episodes or 7 episodes for season 2. If they do 12 or more, I'm a happy camper.
It's gonna be probably less, according to somebody who posted on Twitter.
Uh,
Somebody's leaking information already. Okay.
uh,
They even gave us the names to all 9 chapters.
I will see.
Is that a
I,
bad
I don't
thing if they're really leaking information that much?
know. It's just with leaks, think of them kind of just like with rumors. Like like there's some people leak stuff and it sounds weird, but like they have a better track record of being correct, with rumors and like, and leaking. Other people, they claim they're leaking stuff, but that's just their opinion, Like, if I wanted to make a fake Twitter account and be like, hey, my cousin works for Marvel, and I tell you what I think is going to happen, and I call myself a leaker, there are going to be some people thinking that those things are real. But it's just my opinion, And some of them could be an educated guess. But honestly, I think 90% of the time, most leaks are BS.
Okay.
The few 10% that they are, we know they are because the studios take a big word like pushback against it, right? Like either they say, oh, like they confirm these were official images. Um, they had now either changed the movie up or they take certain precautions. Like the best example is actually Infinity War. Marvel shot 10 different movies of Infinity War. So like that, if someone somehow was able to record or get some sort of information about one of them, they only had 1 in 10 chances of getting it correct. So I look at it as something like that too. I mean, I don't know, maybe not, but um,
but nine episodes is not bad at all. 9 episodes. Or if the rumor mill is true, 9 episodes is not bad. Nine nine episodes is not bad at all. You
I
know,
mean, I'm gonna take
Pat,
whatever they give me. To be honest,
yeah, you Pat,
Hello?
yeah.
Just there's a
So,
problem with your
so
mic or something? You keep going in and out.
can you hear me?
I hear you now, but for some reason, like it's been problematic throughout the whole podcast.
Can Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Let's see if it goes like that for the rest of the podcast.
Yes, hopefully. If not, then we have to change again. Um, but overall, that what these shows, I can't wait for these shows. I've been waiting since March. I'm glad that they didn't delay at least 3 of these shows, except for they was supposed to bring out Echo. I was waiting for that, but they delayed it. I'm guessing is a good reason because they wanted to bring in Daredevil. So that is gonna be a great introduction of uh Daredevil Born Again. So we're gonna see how they're gonna rebirth um dead Daredevil, because like as of this moment, his person that he liked to punch with and fight with, Marvel don't want him. But that's the only person that he rocks with if he's doing any type of martial arts. You know, it is his guy, his his stunt double.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
his stunt double. That's the only person that he because he fights with him at the same time. So he makes sure that what he's portraying is actually on point. You know what I mean? Like John Wick does. Okay. Last
You talking about
question for
John
you guys.
Wick right now? You colliding with something completely different? No, just kidding.
Yeah. Always. That's what we do here. We cause for me, the reason why Collide is always in collision because I based on these movies of how they are. If I'm gonna critique you from the point that you put it out there to the actor that fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you the editing is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like from you don't even want me to go all the way from Ant Man because like they fucked that up too. You know what I'm saying? So, last question I have for you guys is that the rumor has it right now that the I believe the film director or the writer to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and what was the second one? Spider-Man. What was the second one? Spider-Man.
What is it?
The, the
you mean
second
the
one.
animated film, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Spider-Man cartoon, the animated one.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
There was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and then
You talking
um,
about
and then Spider-Man something, the
you?
second one.
You talking about the Miles
Can you
Morales?
hear me?
The oh,
Yeah, I hear you. I just forgot the name too.
you talk about the Miles Morales series, both of them.
Yeah, Moses. Yes,
The Miles Morales. What
yes.
happened?
The writer, I
Okay.
think the writer or the film director, right? The person that built that and made it like interconnected. They want the same person for King Dynasty.
Hello.
Yeah,
They want the same person for King Dynasty. You said?
They want to
yeah,
use the same person for King Dynasty.
yeah. Because there's two parts, and they feel as though that he can do the job. The person that was supposed to do King Dynasty is some guy named TT Wawili, something like that.
You know who he is? That's the bro. That's the director that did the Love and Thunder and the other Thor movie, the Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. TD, yeah. He was until Love and Thunder. He was one of the out of the barrel of directors that Marvel has creating their films. He
Hmm.
was before Love and Thunder. He was one of the top ones, right? Because
Hmm.
he nailed Ragnarok and people loved it. But recently, because Love and Thunder, and not so much that like the executives, like the people that work with him in Marvel think that he lost his touch, but a lot of fans are like his rating, like if he had a Rotten Tomatoes rating, the or IMDb, it's like executives are like, yeah, high critical, but fans are like, he went down to like a 75, like a 70, because he really thought Love and Thunder was all that, and it wasn't.
Yeah,
But
he got his own actors talking about him. I think
he
even the guy that plays Thor
because he's
himself
weird.
said that it wasn't that great.
Not just that, but like him as a director, and granted, it's Hollywood, so there's a lot of directors that are weird, but he is a weird cat, really, really weird. I mean, no, I mean, like he hasn't Me Too'd anybody, but he's really strange, and I, I don't know. Like I think I don't want to say anything that's completely wrong because I'm not trying to get sued for defamation, but
Yeah.
but they'll just Google him some wild stories on Google, and you might find or hear a couple things. Not like he touched anybody, but like weird, like he might invite you over to like have dinner, and you'll be like butt ass naked. So like weird stuff. Like
Okay. Is
once
it as
again,
What?
crazy as the stuff from the guy that played Flash? Because he has some
no,
crazy
no, no, no,
stories.
no, 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 no. That's the thing. No, but the thing, that guy who played Flash, that's not rumors. That happened.
For real.
Like that's yeah. Like he was arrested. He fought at bars. Yeah, he groomed.
Is 81
This
cold?
is all real.
I'm sorry?
Is 81 cold?
What
81? No.
these are just
Yeah,
between the
it's warm.
grapevine with
Is that
people that work
warm,
with him.
cold, or
They're
hot?
like he's a
It's hot.
great guy, but he's weird. Once
Why?
again, he hasn't
It's supposed to be
Me
raining.
Too'd anybody, so like no one's getting
So,
It's raining
touched.
and it's gonna
But
be hot.
yeah,
he's
your hair's
he's
gonna
weird.
go.
That's all I have to say.
Oh, no. I'm
Hmm.
bringing my jacket to my homeroom
But
because
he's the one that did Ragnarok and Love and Thunder.
Alright.
Yeah,
I'm
because
just
right now,
taking my jeans
due
off.
to the writer strike, they don't have
And I
no
have pants.
writer to finish off
The pants.
this
So what
King
else am I
Dynasty.
wearing?
So it's
Oh,
like
secondly,
they're trying
you know
they're right
what?
now they're in
I
talks
might wear those for
of the same
jeans.
guy, the same people
Or
that
maybe
wrote
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man into
should I get
Spider
those
Verse.
jeans?
They want
Those
them
fake
to write
jeans?
King Dynasty
Those
because
skinny jeans, you know, with the
they heard the
holes like this.
fans.
You can
You
wear
know
the
what I
skinny
mean?
jeans. You
Did you
look cute in
see
them.
the
Not
Marvel's
the black ones though.
new trailer? You see how they
Let me.
Say that
interconnected for
again.
you
Not
to
the black ones
understand
though.
The blue
what the
ones,
movie is gonna be about?
right?
Which ones? Those skinny ones?
The skinny jeans.
Yeah,
Yeah, those things wrong.
You do?
no, I'll be honest with
I mean,
you. I
fall
didn't
like
see
Oh,
any
like you got too
trailer
much
for
butt
the
if you bend
Marvels.
down.
The latest trailer I
those are
saw,
probably
and
ugly and
I don't
blue.
want to,
Not
just
the ones with the
Oh,
flowers
completely
in them.
skip
we have
topics,
the plain blue
but the
That
ones.
one matches
latest
my jean jacket. That's what it
trailer I
is.
Yeah.
saw is kind of
What
like a
shirt should I
teaser
wear?
trailer
You didn't
for
wear the hat
Aquaman
yet.
2. It just
Mm.
literally, it just came out like as we were
Okay, then
talking.
go
It came
find
out like
one of your
22 minutes
old
ago.
shirts to wear because you don't
Mm.
have any
I
new.
What
like
does
the
that
sound
say?
of that.
Wait, hold
What
on.
I like the sound of that.
Wait. I
That's
gotta
what I
make sure
wanted
I'm
to
not
talk
wrong.
about. That's what I
Okay.
really wanted to talk about at
Okay,
the
I'm not
same
wrong.
time
I
too.
know.
Where
Trouble.
where Aquaman 2,
Other
I'm not
shirt?
even sure
Other pants?
if it's gonna even make it.
Other shirts. You
Oh,
only
it's
bought like
supposed to be
4
released in
shirts.
December,
You will?
I've only
like
worn
this
two.
December.
Okay.
I don't know what other shirt did you
Yeah,
buy.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh God, I don't
No,
know.
no.
Is
You
it
bought a
Listen,
sweater.
listen.
Stop
you
running.
you
Stop
I
running.
went
what
that
do you
Nike
into
one.
you
No,
hope this
stop
thing is
running.
gonna gonna make
Yeah,
Where
I
make
she
agree,
hits.
was
Glenn.
in that.
Cause like
The
I'm
green,
hearing
Is
I'm
there
hearing other
the dark,
type of stuff
that
that's
the
going on in
flower
there.
with the dark green,
Honestly,
and then
with
the
with the
third
Aquaman
day I
2,
read the black
I'm
shorts
looking at it just
and
as a
the
fun
shoe
movie.
frog.
yeah.
Go
You were
enjoy
the
the movie, have fun.
pastel,
You
the
know,
pastel one,
Oh
enjoy my boy
pastel
Jason
boot
Momoa.
flower book
The
on the
yeah,
only
second
thing,
day, pink and white on the first
that will
day,
make me
and
upset,
third day black
I do
shorts
not want
and the
Amber
sage
Heard in that
green
movie. That's it.
button.
You know, she's
mm-hmm.
hey attractive but psycho. Don't want her in the movie. She's problematic. Even Jason Momoa was like, I don't really. Once again, nothing official. So
Yeah, you
not
can,
trying to get sued. But
and then you can
through the
go to seven.
grapevine, he's like he's not the best, person to work with, and a lot of people making the film were like she's kind of a diva, and she demanded. I think during the time she demanded like a lot of money, which hey, fight for your right to get paid, but like like you're not worth $20 million, Amber Heard. Like like you just lost your shit to to your ex husband Johnny Depp, and he basically bankrupted you. So you're not worth that money. But that all being said, um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna enjoy it because also I feel like Aquaman in general, even when they made the first one, even though it does kind of have small ties to what they were trying to build in terms of like a
Yeah,
universe,
yeah, yes,
it still stood alone by itself, right?
yes.
So I think number two is gonna stand alone by itself as well. I mean, would it shock me if they tried to make little connections to other DC properties? It wouldn't shock me, but honestly, I wouldn't be disappointed if they just contain it by itself. This is an Aquaman story. This is his own world, his own issue. He dealt with it, and it's done. It is what it is. Especially since there's no cohesive DC framework right now. Right now, what we have is kind of like scattered pieces, and the hope that Gunn's going to reframe the entire uh, not framework, but the entire picture for the future of DC. So I think it'll be a fun movie. I don't think it's gonna break any records. I don't think it's gonna flop though. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Mainly because they were smart also when they released the movie. Christmas time movie. Uh, I think it's gonna do well money wise.
Yeah,
Plus, plus, Jason Momoa in the public's eyes, he's a very liked actor. People tend to like him. If you watch Game of Thrones, you like him. If you watch Frontier from Netflix, you like him. He's on a Apple show. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called Clear.
hey,
You like him. So like his face is known. You know, girls think he's a hot Aquaman. I think he's a bad. Guys think he's a badass Aquaman. I think he's a badass Aquaman. So I think it's just a fun movie. You enjoy it. It is what it is, and you leave happy because it's a self-contained story. The only way they can make it bad is, in my eyes, if they put Amber Heard in it, and then they try to make it be something bigger than what it's supposed to be.
yeah. They could easily write her off, like what I mean. Uh, the she went somewhere else because she is the queen. She is the queen, or at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because that's how they wrote it. She's
Excuse
the
me.
queen of some part in the underworld. You feel what I'm saying? So
Should I should I be going straight to the Aquaman article you wanted to discuss, or are you
sure,
because you
sure.
guys are
What
discussing
what
it
you
already?
what you
Uh,
got?
no, because you guys you had decided that you wanted to focus on what's the name of the article? Okay, it says they revealed. I guess they decided to reveal what one of the supervillains suit would look like for Aquaman 2. I
Mm,
don't know the story behind it exactly because it seems kind of like Aliens version. I'm trying to understand the logic to it connected to Aquaman. Um,
So Amber Heard is not in it. That's awesome. If that's the
I,
case,
I will tell you this: the
mhm.
little teaser trailer that I saw,
Yeah.
because the official trailer is supposed to come out, I think, like in 4 or 5 days. But in the teaser trailer that they like a 30-second trailer they released, um, I didn't see her. So I don't know if that means she's there. I don't know if she's not there. But I'll, I'll take what I can get, which is at this point she's not there.
yes, yes.
Like,
That is
can you guys see what I'm looking at on this article? I do. I'm like,
got it. You gotta be able to send that link to me so I can see it.
okay, I'll send it to you.
You can send it through the chat in the
Yeah, that's
clubhouse.
right. You can put it in the room chat.
Yeah, the room chat.
Okay, maybe.
But definitely, yo, Aquaman. I ain't gonna hate. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna hate. I'm gonna critique and give you my take, and I hope you got words for
Wait,
Jason
I have
Momoa
to send it.
on the next podcast. Mikey, Patrick.
To send
But
it.
I hope y'all got some words when y'all see that movie. I hope y'all got some words
I have to
for
send the
Jason
link to
Momoa
you.
because I will have some from the way it was written, from the video effects. I'll give him all the smoke.
I mean, like all that stuff has nothing to do with him. For him, it's just how his acting is. Jason Momoa's he's Aquaman. He's not writing the story of Aquaman. He's just this is the script they gave me. Let me act. So
Yeah,
It's probably
yeah,
Matthew's thing because we had all
definitely, definitely.
everybody's clothes washed together.
Oh, she sent it
yeah, he
from
did.
direct.com. Is that Blue Beetle?
No, the hold on.
Wait, well, keep in mind,
It is not Blue
remember
Beetle.
remember in the first Aquaman, the villain was Black Manta, which
Yeah, Black
he
Manta.
has a type of, yeah. So like his stuff is kind of not alien, but Atlantean high tech. So you know,
Makes sense.
yeah. Once again, this
Yeah.
plus at this point, I don't think there's anything that could really be leaked since if you, like I said, if you watch the little trailer, because trailers they're launched at different time zones around the world at different times. So it's possible someone from like India saw the 30-second trailer hours before we did, and it was like, "Oh yeah, this just in leaked design," and it's not a design. It could just be simply what it was in the trailer.
It's a bit much.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Right?
But how did you feel about Blue Beetle flopping?
Again, to reiterate what I said in the last clubhouse, um, mixed feelings because the first one is me personally, I wanted it not necessarily to be this amazing success. I just wanted to do good because the big idea was it's a big Latin type of movie with the actors and the people writing it. It was supposed to be something like 80% Latin staff all around. So it was a big Latin X, or rather, DC made it into a big Latin X thing. It's not like Latinos are not represented in media because we are, but it was a big spiel. But I still wanted it to succeed. Two, like I said last clubhouse, it doesn't surprise me that it flopped because unrightfully so, even before people saw the movie, it had to take the punishment of the past failures from DC. So unfairly so, people were like, "Listen, the last two DC movies that came out, was Strike One, Strike Two. This one's probably going to be Strike Three." You had when you have a record of inconsistency at best and a record of
Matt,
being
what's happening?
mediocre at worst, which DC could be anywhere in that
Listen,
scale.
focus. Ah,
People show you with their dollar. They're like, listen, I just watch that. I'll watch that movie when it comes on HBO Max, or I'll watch it whenever it comes to Netflix or whatever. That's how most people felt. And once again, even before, at this case, they literally judged a book by
Robin.
its cover, right? And it wasn't because the cover looked wrong. It was just simply because the author, aka DC, was the one people had issues with.
Sorry.
Um,
Huh? Matthew
and
he comes
overall,
in and comes out
then you
sometimes.
gotta go then watch it and then judge it on the decisions they made in the movie itself. Now I know DC's they tried to use the excuse of like, oh, we didn't have enough of the marketing budget, so because of this, the strike, we couldn't market it correctly, and we couldn't put it on, Google, we couldn't put it on posters and yada yada yada. Listen, I think that's half of it's BS because while yeah, that's a true fact, I don't think that's the reason why it's the second worst like financial DC film around. Because yeah, like once again, you couldn't do any recent marketing, but Blue Beetle has been on the docket for I don't know how long. And granted, I've never made a movie myself. I don't know the structure as the machine goes, but you can market beforehand. Especially if you know, like, listen, once again, the strike wasn't something that just happened overnight. There was ample warning. They knew, okay, this is the last day before a strike starts. So, yo, to market your stuff early or delay the movie, but DC is always out primarily to make money, which makes sense. That's their job. But in the same sense, they threw it out for failure. They were like, we're gonna have to deliver this just to deliver it to try to make some money back. But the reason they failed is once again because a lot of times where it runs DC, they run it into mediocrity. Hence the result. So they didn't flop because no one saw a poster or an ad on Facebook. No, people knew about Blue Beetle, right? Because honestly, nowadays, all you need is word of mouth. Honestly, you know, if the movie was so good, enough people talk about it, you're gonna go and watch it. Once you see it's out in the theaters. So I don't know. And then sometimes that dooms a movie too. If you have too much of a marketing budget, you spend so much money on the budget to market it, you expect to make that back in ticket sales, and if you don't, technically, then it also fails. So I find that ironic. They actually saved money by not marketing it, and it still failed.
Yeah, they only made like $43 million.
Again, you, you usually for a movie, marketing takes up like 60% of the entire budget. So you're telling me they didn't use that 60% and they still failed to make a profit? Like that just shows you how at least the way DC is run, not necessarily the movies, but the way the structure, whoever's in charge or the people in charge, they're the ones ruining the media that we enjoy.
True. With far as with DC, far as with DC, that's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Far as with
Yeah, yeah, it's
DC.
true. Yeah, it's true. Other properties is debatable. Like the
Yeah,
Harry Potter series, Lord of the Rings, that's debatable. But at least with DC, ha, they, they have more flops than successes.
yeah, and then they're not choosing their players right. You know what I mean? Just as this, transitioning to this now. Um, James Gunn, he's trying to reboot the Justice League. You know, he Anytime somebody Twitter, he's on he's on that Twitter telling it like it is. Even though people may hate what he says, don't understand what he says, but I'm hoping that that they chose him for the right reasons that needs to be played. You know, these was already cooked up in the books, like you said. You know, now we just gonna see how he gonna reboot the DC.
I really hope they leave him alone and let him do his thing, because even though, just I know we were talking about Aquaman, but now we're just in the overall talking about DC. Have you heard?
Yeah,
And this is a real legitimate, like, um not just like rumor, like, oh, it's just going through Instagram, like working rumor, meaning like there's sources, and it's not official yet because they haven't announced anything in terms of who they're casting. But basically, the closest thing to an official check mark until they say so.
we know it's
DC, DC for the next whatever they're planning to do with Batman. Do you know who is the front runner that they are casting to play Robin?
nah.
Take a
Tell me.
walk. Take a. Oh my God! Have you seen the Fast and Furious movies?
Yes,
Do you know Tyrese?
Wait, what?
yes,
Tyrese. He is
Tyrese?
the front runner to play Robin.
Are you
really.
kidding me?
He
Yes.
doesn't look like the
Wait, wait,
person.
wait, wait, wait.
He doesn't look like the person
He
to
don't look
do that.
like no Tyrese.
Tyrese. Hey, bro. I'll be honest. Sometimes the check is so good, you're gonna be. I'll take it. And I mean, we have seen that. And listen, we have seen that in the past. Let us never forget that Reynolds played Green Lantern for that tech. You know, we have seen Will Smith play Deadshot. We have seen good and bad casting. And the bad casting, the money talks. Hey, I'll play Robin for $10 million. I don't care. And I look nothing like Robin. But Tyrese, out of every actor they could pick, there's 100 reasons why he should not be Robin.
Hold on, hold on. So you're telling me, so like it's crazy because it's just like wasn't Robin, aka from CW, when they did the show with the young crew, wasn't it a black Robin and it was a female Robin that time, and now
No,
they're.
no. Well, what you mean? You mean Titans? Well, keep in mind, Titans is a show by HBO Max.
But it's crazy because
Um,
it's like now they go from a black girl to a black guy. Since when is Robin black at all? I've never met a black Robin until now, to be
well,
honest.
yeah,
Like at all.
Tyrese Gibson, Robin. Oh my God, this is wild.
That is wild. That is wild right there. That's wild right there. You know, but I hope you're wrong. I
I hope
hope
I'm wrong too. I hope I'm wrong, and he doesn't become Robin.
Do you know how old Tyrese is? How are they gonna supposed to make? Isn't Robin? Robin is not that old at all. And none of the versions of Robin has he been that old. That like I don't know. Never mind.
Robin is supposed to be
Robin
like
has hair.
middle like he's supposed to be. Robin's supposed to be like in his like pre early 20s.
It doesn't make
That's the
sense.
Robin.
It just doesn't make sense. If they put Tyrese as Robin, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like you're just throwing Robin the character like out the window and like recreating something that was never intended to be like according to the comics. Like it just doesn't make sense. But okay.
Yeah, yeah. I just hope that James Gunn is okay, and You know, we know him from Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, his movies was, the way he directed them was okay. He made sure the story was written right and stuff like that. It was great. There was no hiccups. You know, now he's doing a whole different thing now for DC, and I hope that we can enjoy what he's portraying of Superman Legacy, because he already got his actors there already. He hasn't mentioned anything in the airways about his actors with Batman. So I don't know what you're talking about this Tyrese joint. I just hope you're wrong. I just hope that you're wrong. But lastly,
What?
yes,
Yeah, what you gonna do? I'm like, if the way it's going, they might as well make Tyrese Batman, Black Batman. Ha ha ha. Ha. Quite funny. Never mind. Hello?
yes,
Yeah, you were gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Lastly, I wanted to be able to talk about Wanda being still Wanda, and now James Gunn is trying to, reboot her into his DC. How you feel about that, Bella? How you feel about that, Bella?
About you said Wanda? Hold on. Hello?
Bella,
Hello? Yes? Hello?
yeah.
All right.
How you feel? How you feel about Wanda reboot?
Well, you talking about Wonder Woman or Wanda like one?
Yeah,
Okay. So I am so upset if they go and they recast my dear Wonder Woman because my Gal Gadot is she couldn't do any better than she has. Like she has no stunt doubles. She is a Wonder Woman. Like she has a military background. She has, just like Jackie Chan, she does not use any stunt doubles. This girl goes out there and actually practices and actually redo the scenes until they perfectly come out properly. She's just Wonder Woman. And then the fact that she got blessed by the first ever Wonder Woman to come out and do Wonder Woman now, and then somebody now comes and try to change her, it's not working out for me. And I don't think it's gonna make anybody happy. That's my opinion.
makes sense. Makes sense. Lastly, Mikey, for the right collision of Gal Gadot.
No,
Mikey,
Mikey's not here. He is here, but I can't hear him. Maybe he had to stop somewhere.
but
And
for me, I just hope that Gal Gadot is on tip top shape. Everything's gonna work out
Wait,
great.
hello.
Yes,
hello.
Okay, okay, yeah, I was hearing you guys, but I'm talking. Like, wait, what?
yeah,
No, no, real quick. I agree with Bella basically because no, I like, of course, the actress. I think she plays the role really well. That is her role. Even when I see her in other movies, I'm like, there's Wonder Woman. Um, so just let her play Wonder Woman. I don't know what his future plans are. I don't think age-wise that should be an issue either. I mean, to Bella's point, the last Wonder Woman said yes. I want you to play it, but also the thing is, like, the same idea with whoever's going to be the new Superman, and the same idea that if they recast in terms of Wonder Woman, whoever's going to be the new actors, you're always going to have that type of like shoes to fill. in terms of the fans' heart, and you can never appease everybody, but ultimately it's, do they look like the part? Do they play the part right? What level are they? It's the same idea with like people that they recast people to play Joker. They recast people to do different characters. So in the end, I think having her still play that character is fine, especially since it's not like we're talking about this whole reboot's gonna happen 10 years from now. It's gonna happen what, in a year or 2 years. So just, if she's willing to play the part, let her play the part. Don't unless it's her, she herself eliminates herself, saying I no longer want the part, and let me move on. Don't don't force that hand on her. You know. Besides, isn't it easier with someone that already has an understanding of the character than finding someone new and then hoping they have a grasp on the character?
True, true. That is that is how we feel about these shows. I truly feel the same way you feel, Mikey and Bella. Like, I hope that these shows come out the way we kind of envision it from the comics. We just hope that that we like our actors. Some of the actors we like. Some of them, Tyrese. Uh, that's not the one, but Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa from Aquaman 2. You know, I'd rather those two stay. Blue Beetle, they could have bring it out more, but the film director or the writer fucked it up. I'm sorry, for me cursing, guys. I'm keeping it real. You know, this is Collide. We collide and make things into collision. We fight a lot. We tussle a lot. We talk about these shows because we have great passion for these shows that you guys are not aware of. That's why we're here, to be able to talk to you guys about these shows and to be more aware about these shows so you can actually see that if this show should be a part two or a part three. You know, like, again, you know, we got James Gunn with Gal Gadot. He's rebooting Justice League. You know, that's good because, like, we saw him from Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're just waiting to see how these shows is gonna happen with DC.
They gotta
With
reboot
Marvel,
Blue Beetle.
yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think they're gonna go with Blue Beetle. They're gonna make a movie about Blue Beetle. I don't think so until James Gunn, because with Batman Brave of the Bold, Blue Beetle is a part of that.
Well, they
Um,
screwed it up
Arrow
because Batman,
Arrow is a part of that too. If you know the comics, you
Batman,
know
Brave
if you know the
and
TV
the Bold
series
was
too.
really good though. That's the thing. I feel like they didn't introduce Blue Beetle as a comic, like a nowadays comic. Like it is a comic strip, but like an actual comic. Like you know how they have the Justice League cartoons running right now
Yeah,
at this moment. Like I
yeah,
don't think they introduced Blue Beetle into that type of comic thing where like he was introduced just like for example Black Panther. Before Black Panther came out, they came up with the Black Panther character inside like he was explained in like the comic version in for the Avengers type of thing in Spidey's
yes,
world, but they didn't do that for Blue Beetle. They like just threw Blue Beetle in here, and everybody who reads the comic strips knows Blue Beetle, but everybody else who's like we're talking about, they didn't bring the audience, the common day audience. When I say common day audience, I mean like people as old as us and maybe older than us, maybe a little bit younger than us, understand the whole comic strip thing. But Angie's generation and a little bit older than her, unless they have been an actual comic strip fanatic since they were born, type of thing, since they were little, like they don't understand where Blue Beetle's coming from. because
Hmm.
they didn't even get the kids the little cartoon version type of thing. So it kind of didn't help with the audience.
Yeah, right about that. So I can't wait. I can't wait for Loki to. You know, I can't wait for What If Marvel. So we're gonna have a good time for the next 6 months. You know, the lastly is Aquaman 2 is coming out, but and then What If, and then the Marvels, and then Loki. We'll talk about this, a lot because it's part of Phase 5. When Phase 5 is done, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about everything just like we talked about Phase 4. This is just a snippet of what's to come in the current events that's happening throughout the writer strike. Because we can't really speak of anything. We could just talk about current events. And lastly, I'm glad that Mikey and Bella and Pat is able to come on this podcast journey with me and be be maybe the first four panels on this podcast that we talk about, we collide with. You can come on in too, from being an artist to even have a conversation with us and talk to us and be able to understand from your vision and your perspective of how you want Marvel to become thus far and how you're expecting the new DCU to become. Until next time, Collide